Think about your hat and the way it makes people feel, because it incites fear in all those around us. Every person is afraid of that hat. I'm afraid of that hat. Keep America great. For so many people, that's racism.
Yeah, but that's because of the mainstream media's narrative that's painted Donald Trump as a racist. I don't agree with the narrative. I'm out here to try to share that that narrative is skewed.
As a human being, you should pay attention to fear and not logic.
Wait, you said pay attention to fear and not logic?
Yes.
I should have paid attention to emotions and not facts?
Yes.
Why would I pay attention to emotions when
that are real in this world?
Facts are facts?
No, emotions are real. Emotions is one removed from spirit. I find that it is hard to trust others.
You shouldn't trust the mainstream media. You should start listening and looking at it.
What media then do you suggest? That is saying don't trust knowledge, operate in darkness.
No, go look up facts. Go look up actual statistics and facts. Look up Pew Research.
Emotion is real.
But emotions change, don't they?
Immigration is about keeping the others out, even though this country was founded on genocide.
Did you know that America takes in half of the world's immigrants every single year? You know America brings in half of the world's immigrants every single year. America is the most tolerant, multiracial country in the world.
They want to be inflammatory. Do not support or engage in this toxic state.
We take in half of the world's immigrants every single year. Half! This is exactly what I'm talking about, is that we have lost our ability to have a conversation in this country. You immediately get called something that you're not, you challenge it with facts and dialogue, and then they walk away.
You know, someone very profoundly once said many years ago that if fascism ever comes to America, it'll come in the name of liberalism. And what is fascism? Fascism is private ownership, private enterprise, but total government control and regulation. Well, isn't this the liberal philosophy? The conservative, so-called, is the one that says less government, get off my back, get out of my pocket, and let me have more control of my own destiny.
The Democratic Party paid the Perkins Law Firm. The Perkins Law Firm paid Fusion GPS. Fusion GPS hired Christopher Steele and Nellie Orr. Christopher Steele wrote the dossier, and then Nellie Orr's husband, Bruce Orr, valeted that document into the Department of Justice. Then it was so unverifiable that they had to use a Yahoo News article before a FISA court to validate it. That Yahoo News article was planted by Christopher Steele, the very author of the dossier. Jake, this is the first time in American political history that an opposition research document has been injected into the bloodstream of our intelligence community. That's not a Republican or a Democrat concern. That's an American concern. And if for just a moment in this town we would put down our partisan swords and work together, I think we could develop a process that the American people would have greater confidence in moving forward for Republicans or Democrats.
Because every time we want to go to fix this, we go to the population that is the legal gun owners buying or selling in the legal format. We go to BOP, the Bureau of Prisons, when they put out their statistics, most criminals do not get their, as you well know, do not get their guns from legal sources.
That your sources say Barack Obama reached out to Donald Trump and said, we need to talk about this failed coup, basically. And Trump told him, you can go, take a walk? Is that what you're telling me?
I have one source that told me that Obama had reached out to Trump about a meeting and that the meeting did not go well for Obama.
Oh, we did have a meeting.
I'm just telling what I was told.
And you're saying that he did have a meeting with Obama, who's trying to save himself.
It was my understanding that Obama had reached out to Trump. This is what I was told. And was trying to not cut a deal, but, well, maybe cut a deal. And that Trump is firmly in the camp of restitution of the rule of law, no matter who it involves.
Kidnapped and then later beheaded.
So name some towns, name some cities, name some states. Where are
Well,
you?
we have them in Texas, Sweeney, Texas. We have them in York, South Carolina. We have them in Commerce, Georgia. We have them in Red House, Virginia. We have them in upstate New York. We have them in California. We have them in Michigan. They're scattered all around the United States.
So right now, when you call up an officer and say, hey, wait a second, you got an enclave here. This is Islamic extremists being trained on our ground. What is the law enforcement's reaction?
Well, the interesting thing about these camps. They're located in very rural areas of America, which has very small police departments, and they intentionally set them up in these areas where, for instance, the one in New York, they have a total of 4 police officers.
I want you to hear what you say is a recruitment, sound of a recruitment video to fill up these camps. Listen.
You're most welcome to join one of our, advanced training course in Islam, or in Michigan, or in...
Kidnapped and
By a drunk driving illegal alien, and you wouldn't even acknowledge the fact that it was an illegal alien in our country for the 5th time.
Hearing, so sorry.
Yeah, I got a hearing too. You know, I need to be heard. I deserve to be heard. You ignored me then, but you know what? You're never going to forget Amy Courtland. It wasn't just a drunk driver. It was a damn illegal alien that you insist on letting come into this country. Yeah, walk away. It's not going to work. My voice will never silence you. You will not silence my daughter. Her blood is on your hands. San Diego, California, your sanctuary city, did this to my family. I know you hear me.
A lot of it. You really hate this, you hate that, you hate... It's part of the shock jock genre, isn't it?
If someone's been around for 12 years or so, with a now massive audience, there's a reason that gains support, and it isn't to do with speaking hate or whipping up frenzy. It's because there is a sense that there is a whole world of stuff we can no longer say, and it's because there's a whole world of state media that appear to be very biased in a particular direction. It's because of people like you that there are people like me. And I've always said this, that you guys, the liberal elite in London, are responsible for me. You are Dr. Frankenstein, and I am your monster.
Then why is CNN constantly like, Russia this, Russia that?
Because it's ratings.
Because it's ratings?
Our ratings are incredible right now.
But honestly, you think the whole Russia shit is just like bullshit?
Could be bullshit. I mean, it's mostly bullshit right now. Like, we don't have any big giant proof. I just feel like they don't really have it, but they want to keep digging.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think the president is probably right to say, like, look, you are witch hunting me. Like, you have no smoking gun. You have no real proof.
And the CEO of CNN said in our internal meeting, he said, good job everybody covering the climate accords, but we're done with it, let's get back to Russia.
Then why is CNN constantly like, Russia this, Russia that?
Jonah Hill needs to shut up because this is ruining men.
Yes.
It's ruining men. The last guy that I dated cried more than I did, and I once cried because my dad told me I looked tired. I don't want to see you cry. I want to see you in the forest chopping wood, okay? You should not have time to cry because you'd be too busy fixing things up around my apartment and offering to pay for my dinner. If there's a spider in my apartment, you can't be shrieking in the corner with me. You got to go man up and kill that. And you know what? The last couple guys that I've dated have complained to me, like, you don't pay enough attention to my feelings. You're not supposed to have that many feelings. I'm supposed to have all the feelings that I talk to you about and annoy you, and you go to the bar with your friends and drink beer and grunt at each other. That's what you're supposed to do. So shut up, Jonah Hill. You're ruining everything.
All right. Okay.
Oh, hey, buddy. It's your great-granddad here. In case you haven't noticed, I'm kind of busy fighting for your freedom in this little thing called the Second World War. But now, you're using that freedom to hurl insults at celebrities on Twitter? Listen, hashtag, you're not going to fight like a man. You at least shave like a man. Excuse me. Stop LOLing everything.
Just like a radio!
you like them fucking apples, America?
Tweet. What tweet?
About saying that it is a modern day lynching, that
sorry.
Jussie Smollett.
Okay, so I will say this about that case. I think that the facts are still unfolding, and I'm very concerned about, obviously.
You know, it's funny, sometimes American journalists talk about how bad a country is because people are lining up for food. That's a good thing. In other countries, people don't line up for food. The rich get the food and the poor starve to death.
A wall is an immorality. It's not who we are as a nation.
Shut up, Grandma!
A wall is an immorality.
How do you feel about the border wall?
Well, I think it's appropriate. I think it's necessary. I think it's common sense. The funny thing is that I think a lot of people are forgetting that there is a barrier already there. Somebody somewhere thought within their mind, because of reasonableness, that there should be some level of barrier which will prevent or deter people from just walking right into our country. The only difference between the border wall that Trump is talking about and the one that already exists, I compare it to having a front door that don't lock. What's the point of having a front door if it don't lock? So how about you restructure it and renovate it where it's needed, build it where it's not already there, and then we can have an adequate assisting factor in securing our border along with technologies and other things that we've already been talking about.
I believe we are one election away from losing the Constitution of the United States of America. The fundamental transformation that Barack Obama was looking for is this presidential election away. Now, I want you to hear me carefully. This is not, you got to vote for Trump or you can't vote for them. I'm not talking politically here. I want you to understand the layout of the ground. What does the ground look like right now? We are at an unemployment rate that almost never happens. It was 3.7%, which means 3.7% has always been what statisticians always say is full employment. Just about everybody who wants a job has a job. Now, it may not be the job they want, but it's historic low in employment.
Jussie Smollett is set to face a grand jury over an alleged hate crime hoax after new developments shifted the whole direction of the Chicago Police Department's investigation. One America's Janesh Gagas has more.
Shocking new details on the hate crime case against actor Jussie Smollett are leading investigators to believe the actor orchestrated the attack himself.
America will never be a socialist country.
For the people who would not stand and refuse to give a round of applause to the lowest unemployment in history, to 5 million people being taken off of food stamps, talking about the opioid crisis, talking about securing our southern border, getting rid of sex trafficking, and mitigating crimes associated with drug dealing. If you cannot stand, if you cannot give a round of applause, you do not love or support this country. I don't care what side of the aisle you on. What was revealed to me today, if I was an impartial person, is the disdain and hatred from the left against the president of the United States. The disdain and hatred of the accomplishments that have bolstered American success.
That student, CJ Pearson, a columnist for Culture.com and a conservative activist, joins us now with more. CJ, this all went down on Twitter. Kind of crazy stuff. What was your reaction to her tweet at you? Were you surprised, first of all, to see it?
I was surprised. I was completely taken aback. You know, there is a sitting congresswoman telling me that I should fear her and that she was the future. Well, first and foremost, neither of those things are true. I do not fear her because this is America, where the public servants serve the people. We don't serve them. And number two, she just isn't the future. My generation, according to studies, is posed to be the most conservative generation since World War II. They're just like me. They believe in limited government. They believe in free enterprise. They believe in the values that have made our country what it is today. If anyone should be scared, it's the Congresswoman.
But here in D.C., it's like so weird. It's like everybody is like a spy. Like, it's so bizarre.
Yeah, they're all Russian spies.
It's like you could go out to get a cup of coffee and the person that's like sitting at a table in the corner of the restaurant is like, you know, like,
that's the girl that just cost New York City 26,000 jobs.
Then they go and like they text all their friends that they saw so-and-so at this cafe, and it's like triangulation.
AOC, they're not spying on you. They're telling their friends where to come find you. They're upset. Get out of there.
And it's super weird. It's just like super weird. So New York is really interesting because there's a lot of anonymity out in public.
And I don't know what anonymity means, but I think she means anonymity.
She told me her name was Saying, she was in D.C. She said, excuse me, but can you please pay my rent? I cannot afford my apartment. Come on, girl. She started talking about politics like a socialist. Then put the long it beside me, yes, this chick is...
Mr. President, build this wall. Our country has become so divided to the point where now people are asking the question, are people Americans or are they Democrats? It's like you can't even be a Democrat and an American anymore in America to me, because what kind of crazy person says Americans are not as American as illegal immigrants? Ocasio-Cortez said that the people that are trying to break into the country illegally are more Americans than the people trying to stop them from breaking into the country illegally. It's like saying people that break into people's houses are more homeowners than homeowners. It just doesn't work. Why has logic left the Democratic Party? Maybe it was never there. I don't know. But, you know, they want to get on us about border security and gun control, but they're okay with killing babies, and they're okay with having the country overrun by illegals as long as they stay in power. It's like, what are you even doing? So my question today is, are you an American or are you a Democrat? I'm Joel Pat.
What did you think when Hillary Clinton said, I see improved relations with Russia from a position of strength only as possible?
I agree with Hillary.
Hillary Clinton said, immigration is a privilege and we should not let anyone into this country who doesn't support our communities, all of our communities.
Well, I'd virtually have to agree with that.
Hillary said, in order to achieve the American dream, let people keep more money in their pockets and increase after-tax wages.
Yes, okay. It's in order that's a great idea so that we can start to move everybody up and start moving people out of the level of poverty.
And obviously runs fairly severe contrast to what Donald Trump is proposing.
Absolutely. And many of her comments run severe contrast to Donald Trump.
What do you think of this quote from Hillary? There's nothing I love more than women, but they're really a lot different than portrayed. They're far worse than men, far more aggressive, and boy, can they be smart.
You know, I agree. I've worked for 38 years at the hospital with women.
No, he's this big, strong guy, and he's crying. And he said, I'm walking up, Mr. President, and it happens all the time. Thank you very much, Mr. President. I said, for what? He said, you've saved our country. Our country was going in the wrong direction. You've saved our country. Thank you. I've had so many people say that. So many people. You know, the truth is, though, I didn't save our country. We're now heading in the right direction. It's very tough because we have so many things we're fighting, including these people, but so many people that we're fighting, so many people that are either foolish or ill-intentioned. But you know, I didn't save our country. You know who saved our country? You saved our country. You saved our country. God. Because it's never, nothing like this has ever happened before. And you know what? The world is watching.
Now here we have President Trump pointing to a man in a Q shirt in a crowd in one of his rallies. So ask yourself this, President Trump's been being tagged in Q pose for, 9, 10 months, however, I forget exactly when this picture is from. But he has not once ever said anything about Q. Now, he's not exactly shy. I don't know if anyone noticed. Our president's not shy. He calls out fake news. Anytime politician's acting fake, Trump calls them out. Anytime the news is acting fake, calls them right out. Fake news. He has not once, one single time, come out and said that this guy who's been posting specifically about Trump, very deep intel in many cases, not once has he come out and either confirmed or denied him. But he does point to people wearing his shirts. He does make air cues.
We will make America safe again. And we will make America.
I've learned a lot from my wife over the years. She's so about the power of intention, and believing things that are really going to happen. And she always makes a little altar for me at the game because she just wills it so much. And so she put together a little altar for me that I could bring with pictures of my kids. And I have these little special stones and healing stones and protection stones, and she has me wear a necklace and take these drops she makes, and I say all these mantras. And I stopped questioning her a long time ago. I did. I just shut up and listened.
Who runs the world?
Who runs the world?
Nothing to you. And what did you say to my son? To my 14-year-old son? What did
I'm sure he's heard it before.
What did you say again? Okay, where's your name? Let's go.
What?
I was told. You touch my child.
I'm not touching him. I'm telling
Let's go. Let's find your manager now.
All right, 1 second. Yeah, I'm coming.
What's going on? My son walked into the store. That gentleman first told him, take off your hat. He said, nothing to him. 14-year-old child. Then he said, F you to my son. My son said nothing to him, did nothing. That is a disrespectful punk right there. He did nothing. Yeah, I'm fine.
Black cat is on the field. The first touch is exceptional. The movement is outstanding. The black cat lies through. Brilliant!
All you got to do is tell the devil, hell no, won't you leave me alone? Devil, leave!
I think all our society is run by insane people for insane objectives. You know? And I think that's what I sussed when I was 16 and 12 way down the line. But I expressed it differently all through my life. It's the same thing I'm expressing all the time, but now I can put it into that sentence that I think we're being run by maniacs for maniacal ends, If anybody can put on paper what our government and the American government, etc., and the Russian, Chinese, what they are actually trying to do, and what they think they're doing, I'd be very pleased to know what they think they're doing. I think they're all insane. But I'm liable to be put away as insane for expressing that. That's what's insane about it.
You would just get up and teach them instead of handing them a freaking packet, yo. There's kids in here who don't learn like that.
Bye.
They need to learn face to face. You're just getting mad because I'm pointing out the obvious and you're too
you're wasting my time.
No, I'm not wasting your time. I'm telling you what you need to do.
Get out.
You want kids to come in your class, you want them to get excited for this, you got to come in here, you got to make them excited. You want a kid to change and start doing better, you got to touch his freaking heart. Can't expect a kid to change if all you do is just tell him. You gotta take this job serious. This is the future of this nation. And when you come in here, like you did last time, and make a statement about, oh, this is my paycheck, indeed it is. But this is my country's future and my education.
I respect that. Can you go outside, please?
But there's a limit. When I'm not bitching, but simply making an observation.
Okay.
And now I will leave. You're welcome.
This is one woman's experience of living on the top floor under cell antennas for 2 months.
It started with my daughter. She initially got a rash on her leg that was sort of unexplainable, and when she was trying to explain to me what it felt like, she kept saying it was kind of funny because it wasn't hurting inside or on the skin. She said it was hurting in the skin. And then a few days later she got another rash on her arm, and then another small kind of stranger rash, and it was the same thing. And then one day in the kitchen she was holding something and she dropped it because she said it felt like the blood in her hand went cold and in a wave along her hand to her fingertips, and then her hand stayed numb for about 15 minutes. Some more of the symptoms include a sort of hissing in my ear, in particular when I'm in my apartment, but for about 3 days, anywhere I went, it would just sort of come in. I kind of felt like an antenna, and I'd sort of kind of go like, trying to find the place where the hissing or the buzzing stopped. I've not slept in my apartment since last Saturday.